Well, this is unfortunate. Anyways, I think 5 people are going to be very happy about this video, based on the list of characters I have to go down. So, hello my little paperweights, let's jump right into the video, as apparently you all like me to talk for 15 seconds and then leave you all alone. I maybe can do that. Most likely not, but this is another FPE lore update. While I have already a bunch of new characters that I would like to talk about, it probably would take some time. And I mean, I even have now the main villain of my show, story, whatever. So stick around if you're interested in that, it's a really cool one. This is my poor attempt on bigger viewer engagement. But firstly, I did some stuff for the other characters, not much, but I think the most important thing I should mention is for Yuri. Yuri is the Russian assassin from the last video. I changed a bit about his characters, so he kinda joined the assassin guild as he was a child, and now his gloves are also like made from a special secret metal that are also molded onto his skin, and now his blood doesn't use rune magic, but just it burns and is used for dark magic in general, not just nothing anymore related to Sammy. And the biggest change is that also now Yuri's old assassins group is one of the enemies of the paper school. Just saying, paper school is still an acronym. I'm putting it on the screen. It has nothing related to paper anymore, but like along the main villain that will come later, we have the cultists that think Sammy is a godly entity and want to free him. That's why they sometimes raid the school. And we have the assassins group of a bunch of different kind of assassins. Some of them are magical, some of them are not. And both of those sometimes start raids on school, and we can have like cool little stories of the students protecting each other, the teachers beating them up and stuff like that. Maybe Sammy coming out, but it's something for another day. And also Yuri's character is kind of a changed from he's still a badass, like he still threatened the guards. If you won't let me in, I'm going to kill all of you until I'm getting in. But now he's like one of the only few bullies left, which by the way have grouped up all the students, teachers and everyone into certain groups. Yuri is one of the bullies too, and the reason there are only very few bullies left is because if you're an actually bully, Sammy will recognize that and probably end you, so you have to get creative if you want to be mean. So Yuri most of the time is just mean when nobody sees it and nobody knows this is. So but anyways, let's go to the first character of all of them, and it's the one I struggled with the most with the design. Well, not actually, but I had the longest time designing them, Mr. Starlet. And I really love Mr. Starlet. It really took me a bunch of redesigns to finally get his character down. But now finally, he's a bit inspired by Enigma's Mr. Sharpley, but not much. He is the astronomy teacher and he teaches the students about stars and stuff. And his special anomalous ability is that he can kind of create anything he wants out of purple energy. Like that is, he can summon anything if it's like a gas, a material or a combination or something to create stuff. Only thing, it disappears after some time and it's like see-through a little bit. But the reason he's not just a more overpowered Sammy is because he has this really strong ability of summoning stuff. But first of all, it's limited by his creativity, and second of all, he still is somewhat of a normal human in strength and durability level. So while he can create a bunch of different really powerful stuff, he still can just be stabbed with a knife and be very injured in the moment. So this is a big nerf to him, and this is what kind of balances him out. And he was also one of the big hitters in the Sammy incident alongside Miss Crystal, and he was actually doing very well until he burnt himself on the napalms, and that is where the scars come from on his arm. And now he covers them up with bandages, and over the bandages he put like arm warmers. I don't know how to else describe them, but like these really comfy clothes around his arms with the star theme and all of it. And he has fingerless gloves over his hands because he kinda wants like not to show that he's actually hurt in that spot, because he's kinda very much, he's a good teacher, he's very friendly and really a cool guy and chills a lot with the students, but also he with the government and stuff like that, there's not much known about him because he kinda refuses to talk about it, anything, and he barely says anything about himself. And while he's cool with the students, the thing with him and relationships and bonding and stuff like is that he is from outer space, and humans he basically sees just like animals and doesn't see any difference with them. So he sees himself a bit above all the other humans, but he's really nice to the students and tries protecting them sometimes. Most of the times he just ignores everything because, like, again, this isn't his planet, so he isn't really interested in doing anything for it or interrupting any earthly events. Really the only time he actually does something if you attack him personally, or the one time with the Sammy incident, because it was actually really a big threat. But he tries to be the protector also of the children, so they feel comforted, because the school can be a scary place at times, and that's why he doesn't want to show that he actually is hurt. And honestly, Mr. Starly is one of my new favorite characters I have created, and I would love to see more stuff of him, more art. But anyways, I'm already too long on this one. Next one should be quick, but it's also star themed, and it's Starlet, the cute little boyo. Look at him, he's absolutely adorable. And basically his lore is that he is like a literal shooting star. He basically crashed down on Earth somewhere. It's censored where it was and who found him, but a special operators team took him in, and later, after some time, brought him into the school. And basically he just chills out in there and does the stuff he wants to, because he's kind of a bit too young to actually force into classes and stuff like that. So he mainly walks around in the hallways and sometimes does stuff, and you can see him sometimes fly through the background or something. Sorry, I mean walk, flies him. But speaking about flying, one of his abilities is actually that he doesn't take fall damage. Like for example, if you would push him somewhere off a ledge or something, he would actually fall for a bit and then hover over the ground before landing. He can't really fly, but like just hover so he can't take any fall damage. And a different ability of his is that he just like is a little nightlight for himself, because he doesn't like the dark, and because he's like a little small shooting star, he glows in the dark, which is very adorable if you like walk around at night or at a late night and you have just a little starlet walking around as a little glow light. And his last ability is honestly the most surprising, and the entire school staff plus everyone in the school is confused how he's able to do that. Starlet is the only being right now known that can touch or interact with Sammy, because Sammy's body is like shadow mist stuff. I have told it a million times by now, but nothing can interact with him. He has no control over it. He even can't eat solid food anymore, or like eat anything in general, because it passes right through his body. So all kind of attacks just passes through Sammy, which of course, as Sammy is kind of a danger to everything and everyone, is a bit of a problem, because you can't hurt him. But for some reason, that little small bean Starlet for some reason can't touch him. I mean, of course he can't hurt him because he's such a small and still a child, but the fact that he's just physically able to touch him confuses literally everyone, even Sammy himself. But yeah, kinda everyone, even the mean bullies, Miss Crystal, Sammy, everyone just kinda likes Starlet. Starlet also kinda draws sometimes some of the people in the school. There was, like I mentioned, that sometimes the school is being raided. There was one specific incident where a bunch of cultists tried using explosives. Didn't actually do much because the school is very secure, but like the little eruption, I don't know, like the shaking caused Starlet to trip and fall down. Of course he didn't took much damage, but like still, after fighting out, the entire cast of anomalies was absolutely pissed at the one guy, of course staff too, but all the staff members couldn't even hold the teachers and students while they rushed out of the school to find that one guy. It's not some anomalous ability of Starlet. The people in the school just generally like Starlet. Oh, and also Saturn is kind of taking on a big sister role for Starlet, and Mr. Starly, while he still is like in the kind of POV that he doesn't care about any earthly events, he still kind of likes Starlet because they are not related or anything, but he can like kind of like relate to his position because he's also not from Earth. Okay, so much to quick one. The next one is actually quick. Cupid. Basically, her entire thing is that she's love themed. There's like a cool bow and stuff like Cupid from the mythological stories. The name inspiration is obvious, but her main stick is that is she a really good archer. The thing is, she has like a magical bow that is made of gold and pink energy, and she's the only one that can use it, and she has extreme accuracy. Like she was in the semi-fight actually, but the thing is, she wasn't actually there. She was like miles and miles away from the actual fight. She still sniped towards Sammy and actually hit him almost every time. Damage was barely minimum to anything. Between the giant punches of Mrs. Crystal and the barrage of things that Mr. Starly was throwing at him, just random headshots all the time were annoying, but he couldn't actually figure out from where they're coming, and also didn't have the time to focus on her. But yeah, her aim is just basically insane, and everything else in the regular school stuff, she's very cute, very innocent, and the thing is, she wants everyone to be happy because she can like taste and feel emotions around her. Like if someone is happy, it physically feels good for her, and it's exactly the same if someone is unhappy. It kind of makes her discomfort. Like eating something tasty is for her basically like meeting someone that is happy. Oh, and also I don't think I need to mention it, but because she's one of the girls, she also has like a giant crush on Timothy, and she's actually one of the two close friends to Timothy. The other one is a character, you can hear the change of my voice. This is probably one of my favorite characters I have created. I said it with Mr. Starly, but honestly, the next one is Lana, and I don't know if I like Lana more than Mr. Starly, but for me, like the tier list is my main OCs are 4, and right after that I'm thinking of, okay, maybe Lana or Mr. Starlet, and after that all the others come in different directions. That's not the topic of the video, but like I really like Lana. I know her design is cool and stuff like that. Everything is cool, and I also want to see more fan art of her. Actually, in the end card I have probably prepared, there is going to be fan art of her, but Lana is basically half human, half dinosaur. No any specific dino. I know she looks like a raptor, but it's like a, if you test her DNA, it's a mixture of like every single thing mashed into one. And it's mainly carnivore DNA. There's some herbivores like the plant eaters, but mainly she eats meat and also eats like human meat and stuff. But the government really tries helping her. Like they invented special pills that are also strapped on her leg sometimes. Also she needs to wear different special clothes, but like that's obvious with her physique. But like that pills are helping her keep calm and just basically stay away from a feral animal and be like a normal human being. She is most of the time very much a sweetheart unless she's like really hungry. And speaking of hunger, the cool thing about Lana is, what I really like is that she, like some reptiles, she can grow infinitely and also get quite a lot older than normal humans, but like as long as she feeds on something, she can get bigger. So like the government is always trying, okay, let's not try to overfeed her in any case because she's going to outgrow us. It's like the thing is, she's the second tallest character right behind Miss Crystal. It's kind of like a requirement for my universe is that you need to be smaller than Miss Crystal. A few exceptions are like for one-time villains that are maybe a giant or something but get killed off. But if you want to be a really consistent character, you need to be smaller than Miss Crystal. So she's just barely smaller than her. And the dark part of her skin's actually like hardened skin, which is, if she takes damage anywhere on her body, her scales get injured and they grow back, but they grow back stronger and darker than before, so they're more resistant and more stronger. So basically she continues to evolve if she gets injured. She's also one of the few that actually can go through, like if you remember, Sammy's room has like his own little ecosystem in it, which is extremely dangerous and crazy. For example, what I mentioned, the grass works like needles basically. If you walk over it, you have a bunch of tiny needles stabbing you. But because of Lana's physique, she can basically just, the wild animals in Sammy's biome she can take down if she want, and the environmental dangers are like hurtful but somewhat resistant, so she can actually, if anyone needs to get to Sammy, most of the time they're either going to send one of the heavy hitters or Lana. And yeah, what else? You know what, I just randomly decided to give her night vision because, I don't know, it would fit with Sammy's biome. She as well has a crush on Timothy and is the second friend of the friend group of like Timothy, but even though she's attracted to him or like finds him attractive, her main attraction are to actually like dinosaurs. Like if you were to watch a documentary about dinosaurs, it would be like to her it would be like watching the news or something, or like watching a history film, because if she sees dinos, she sees them like normal humans see each other. I think I forgot to mention the favorite foods of some of the characters, but actually Lana's favorite food is dino nuggets. Even though she's mainly eating raw flesh and stuff like that, she really likes dino nuggets, funnily enough. But yeah, what else? She's like really tall, really strong, really fast. Not much more I can talk about. I would like to talk more about her. I'm quickly going to cut myself off because I forgot to mention she also has like a very chunky cat, which is based on my real life cat, but my real life cat isn't white. But anyways, that's all I forgot to say, and I wanted to still mention that, and I still quickly do it like this. And the cat is also walking around like Starlet, sometimes in the background just doing random stuff, and it's Lana's cat. And its name is Whiskers. To show that she's one of my favorites, and please make fan art of her because I really took a long time drawing those legs. I'm struggling drawing dino legs for some reason, so yeah, but I really like Lana. But now to the character I was hyping up throughout this entire video, the main villain of my AU. This is Yuri, and based on all the character text in the background, here's a lot of stuff about him. Too much for just the end of this video, but basically the rundown is that he is a nine-tailed fox. Like he has a nine-tailed fox on his shoulder, and he also can transform into the small form. But just as information, he's not like controlling a nine-tailed fox, so he literally is the same being. It's just like a visual appearance that it is on his shoulder. And yeah, my thought was when I created this character, how can I make the most unlikable, hateable villain ever? And with this thought, Yuri was created. First of all, he is like a literal walking natural disaster. Over the time of human history, he keeps on causing massive catastrophes. For example, you know the volcano explosion of Pompeii, where like an entire city was covered in ash. This volcano explosion was something that was planned by Yuri, and many other stuff. For example, the Titanic was also something that he did, because his entire personality and his abilities are like, he really likes to make people suffer, and he literally feeds off it. Like, he can grab a person and suck out the bad emotions of the person. Of course, this would remove the bad emotions from the person, but Yuji definitely isn't as merciful and just eats the emotions, but he will hurt you after he is done, definitely. And the thing is, he has like 9 tails and 9 abilities. I don't think I'm going to go all over them. Future Raptor here one last more time. I did go all over every single one, but the problem is it took me 9 extra minutes to this, so I had to cut out most of it. I'm going to put what the abilities are on screen right now in the background, but you can pause and read it if you want. Just I'm going to mention it in the outro of this video why I had to cut this out. You can just pause and read it if you want, but I'm still going to leave in 2 of the abilities because they are important for some context and stuff like that. Here's one where he basically, everything that has his sigil on it, basically the Y in his name is like a special character Y, and all things that have like a red version of this special character on it, he can teleport it into his hands. That is one of his abilities. He also has an ability where like, if you are in his light of sight when he uses this ability, you kind of have troubles remembering him. So even though he has been causing all these issues throughout human history, no one really remembers him because of this ability. And his last and most strongest ability is also the worst one, because it's called Eternal, and if he uses this on you, it slows down your perception of time to what feels from like 1 second, maybe up to like 5-6 seconds, up to like weeks and months. So that means if he uses this ability on you, then suddenly seconds feels like entire days. Imagine you need to wait like 5 minutes, which feels like a half of a lifetime. And this is the most mental and discarding ability he has. And like, even though you can be cured from this condition, that you feel this time slowdown, like you don't age physically or anything, just your perception of it slows down to the point like when it slows really far down that you can hear your own heartbeat, and even the giant pauses between the heartbeat, because like if a second feels like 2 months, then of course there will be weeks where you don't even hear your heartbeat, and of course the mental torture that it is will leave you quite damaged. But yeah, for the last thing, Yuji also has like a kuna he can throw, which basically if he injures you, it kind of burns away the spot he hit with like ash. It turns into ash. And the thing about this kunai, it also has his sigil on it, so with this other ability he can teleport it back into his hands. I could go about his modus and stuff like that, but I don't have the time, and I still want to release this video today because fun fact, the point I'm recording this, today is my birthday, and I don't want to spend this editing all the time. So like, but if you want to make me a birthday present, you can go down and hit the subscribe button. Just kidding. But it would be nice if you could do that, and I hope you enjoyed this video. You should probably already see it in the background. I have like now new outro frames that Boomba3D made for my birthday of my bed sauna, which now I'm going to just be using as the equivalent of me IRL. And while it kinda hurts that I do not longer use R4 for this, it's still my main OC, and I still want to use it in videos just for the outros and stuff. I'm going to use these frames because I really like it, and it's like a more fancy version of my IRL background. And I also should show like before the pop-ups of the recommended videos or something shows up, because I want to add that from now on as well. If you're seeing this without any pop-ups, it's probably going to be because I haven't figured it out, but I'm trying to and experimenting around. But also before the pop-ups, I'm going to show fan art and who is the creator of it, to like encourage if people want to do it, that they actually can be featured in videos. And also this end card will kind of replace the meme and the end, because for her I always said and remember ... and I showed like a meme in the end, but I never really got many people interacting with the meme in the end, and I don't know if people liked it, and I was kind of running out of ideas what to put there in the end. So like, yeah, but I hope you enjoyed this second part. I'm going to have one last part of this before I do something else, I don't know, and I hope you have a great day.